nothing but the world's most beautiful game, which is football. And yeah, we are going to be focusing on what the whole country is going to be focusing on this coming weekend on the show. We are focusing on, well, let me use arguably the biggest football match in Zimbabwe. On Sunday, Highlanders take on Dynamos at Barberfield Stadium. So yeah, Pakaipa. In studio, I've got a couple of exciting guests. Well, I'll start with the couch squad. No changes. Veronica is here. Tadi is here. But we've got a special guest. He's going to help us go through that big match. His name is Emmanuel Jalai. How are you, Emmanuel?
I'm good. How are you, Howard?
Right. So this is your second time here.
Yeah.
Second time. But today you are sitting in a different chair. Because the last time you were here, you were talking about Dynamos, because you were Dynamos captain.
Yeah,
but today you are an analyst.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to hear all the things that would scare you when you want to play Highlanders. We want to hear all about Highlanders and who you think is going to win. So essentially, that's what we want to talk about. But otherwise, you're good?
I'm good, sure.
Pre-season. Not pre-season.
Season.
What am I saying? End of season.
Yeah.
And you are enjoying your holiday.
Yeah, so far so good.
So far so good.
Yeah, so far so good.
No, we're glad that you are here. Atadi, it's a big game that we've got. It's a huge game.
It's not arguably the biggest game.
It is the biggest game.
That is the biggest game.
Do you know why I use arguably?
Yeah.
Because, you know, we've got the new school now. The teams that have come up in the past couple of years. Zimbabwe, you've got Hard Rock, you've got Scotland, you've got Moors. You know, when these teams come together, now there's a certain section of, you know, people who are saying, no, this is the biggest game. This is the biggest game.
The biggest game in Zimbabwe remains Dynamos versus Highlanders, followed by Cape United versus Dynamos. There's no way Man City can claim that they are playing the biggest game in England simply because they are playing against Everton or they are playing against Newcastle. Okay. Liverpool versus Manchester United is the biggest game in England.
Okay, hold on. We want to settle this before we get in. So I used arguably because of the things that I explained. Is this the biggest game or it's arguably the biggest game?
For me, it's actually the biggest game because these are teams that when you look in terms of following, they have got arguably, I can't say arguably, they've got agreeably the biggest numbers of followers. Look at Highlanders, look at the Dynamos, and then also talking in terms of the institutions themselves. I think when you look at Dynamos established in 1963, I think economic-wise, a lot has happened over the years. A lot of teams have come and gone, and these are some of the these are three of the teams that we say have stood the test of time. So for me, from both ends, in terms of fans and followership, and in terms of the institutions themselves, these are the biggest institutions. No arguments about that. They remain the biggest fixture.
Let's go to Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Because you have played in this game.
Yeah.
You have been watching, you know, growing up, you've been hearing about these teams.
Yeah.
Is this the biggest game in Zimbabwe?
I think I'll second these two guys, what they've said, because, you know, in terms of football, in Zim, you can't deny the fact that Dynamos and Highlanders are the most followed team in terms of supporters and in terms of achievements in Zimbabwean football. So it's something that we cannot fight as footballers or in terms of supporters to say Dynamos and Highlanders is the biggest game in the country.
So I know as players, you prepare differently, depending with the game that you want to play. So every time that Dynamos would go and play Highlanders, what would you do as Emmanuel?
For me personally, this game doesn't need any motivation from someone. You know, from the first day of the week when you're preparing, I think 2 weeks before that game, you can feel the build-up to that game, that it's a different game comparing to other teams. Because, you know, it carries a big magnitude of supporters So you as a player, you have to be ready in terms of what you're going to face, either you're playing home or away. So it's a big game that you need to prepare mentally and physically.
So every time you would go on the park, whether it's in Harare or it's in Bulawayo, you didn't need any motivation?
No need of motivation from someone, because you know what is going to be there on the stake. So it's something that you have to do your best in terms of preparation, in terms of what you're going to do throughout the week, because it's a big game to say. Like Ted said, you can't deny the fact that Dynamos and Highlanders are the most followed teams in Zim. So as a player, you don't want to disappoint your own supporters, because you know they will be fighting for the rights, like the Battle of Zimbabwe. So at the end, you want to become victorious.
So going into that game, Masangana,
yeah.
You've got Jalai coming from there, Howard is coming from there. Was it the same in terms of motivation for everyone in the changing room? Was it the same? Kind of wanted, hey guys, to BF.
Yeah.
My one.
Yeah, you know what you do as players, because they are senior guys, and there are some guys who have played the game before, like the Battle of Zimbabwe, and some haven't played the game. So what you do is you have to encourage everyone, and also they have to prepare in a better way, because it's not going to be an easy game. So as a player, if you have been there before, you have to help those who have not been there. So it's all about the team more than individual.
Which is really important, because we have heard this. It's all about the team, not certain individuals.
Yeah.
But when you go covering these games, because you have covered these games before, whether in Harare or in Bulawayo, you have followed these teams. It's too bad a couple of seasons back. It's only now that we're seeing, that mood that we have seen coming back again to the fore. But from the times that you have covered, the both sets of players, have they done justice to what you say is
to
the
hype,
biggest
to
game?
the vibe, to the magnitude of the match? I think these guys, I don't want to lie, they have tried their level best to try and justify the magnitude of this battle of Zimbabwe. Dzimwe dzenguva tinotoona takaona the likes of panainzi Keith Madera 2003 2023 tisingatombonyatsomuziva kuti Keith anogona kudaiswa here, but on that day akaraiza, and this year takaona Mongameli Chuma. So
and the return of Kudama
panoitika zvinhu zvakafanana naizvozvo.
By the way, where is Keith Madera?
Keith, I wanted to ask Jalai actually, where is Keith? Because he was his teammate.
Where is he?
I heard that he was injured, so now he doesn't have a club.
Oh.
But he's doing better now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So when you are looking at this, because we've got a duty to make sure when we are hyping this game. I remember back in the day, not back in the day, even as far as back as last year, people would say, hey, media, why would you say Battle of Zimbabwe? It's more like you want people to fight, there is violence in football, and now you come in, you give us a headline against the Battle of Zimbabwe. From a journalistic point of view, what would you be trying to say?
Yeah, I think likening it to the Battle of Zimbabwe, the real Battle of Zimbabwe, really tribal racho. So when we come to football now, this is nothing along the tribal lines, but it's just about perhaps your affiliation to the clubs. So when we say it's the Battle of Zimbabwe, literally we are trying to give you the picture, the magnitude of that fixture. We can't be talking about maybe the Battle of Chitungwiza, because Chitungwiza is just a portion within Zimbabwe.
Okay.
But when we say it's the Battle of Zimbabwe, it gives you the broader picture. This is a very big fixture, which we can liken to the nation of Zimbabwe, rather than just singling out a certain portion. It's the Battle of Chegutu, because Chegutu can't portion in Zimbabwe. But when we talk about Zimbabwe, we are just trying to show you we are talking about something which is very broad.
Yeah, since it's so good, these are the two biggest teams in Zimbabwe. atipani nyaya yema-bragging rights
Yeah.
kuti who controls, who owns Zimbabwe, who is
terms
the
of
biggest
football.
between Dynamos and Highlanders.
So how do you feel, Scotland fans feel when you say those things?
No, we don't care how they feel. We don't care how Scotland fans feel. We don't care how Zimbabwe fans feel, because we are talking about the two biggest institutions. Because at one point, some of those Scotland people, owners and the like, were affiliated to either Dynamos or Highlanders. So Doma team 2 these are the biggest. Do anababa shibaba shemunyika. So
okay,
yeah.
And when you look at Dynamos and Highlanders, I think traditionally, looking at these are clubs that any player within the PSL who is still on the rise. My dream is to one day play for these two big teams, or play for one of these two teams. So when we look at that fixture, we are just looking at a fixture even in Scotland. Someday also monotambo Dynamos. One day also pick a badge the Highlanders. So it's not really about how they feel, but it's about the status yet these two clubs.
Was it the same for you?
Yeah.
We start wind up Dynamos. You would feel good to know in Iniga, either I play for Dynamos, I play for Caps, or I play for Highlanders.
Yeah, to be honest, as a player, playing for Dynamos or Cape United Islanders, putting the economical wise aside, in terms of career, you would want to play for a big team in your country, because it helps you to develop as a player. So I'm honored to be one of the Dynamos captains. It is a dream come true. But I also encourage the young ones to keep on fighting and fight for their own careers.
So before we go for the break, I wouldn't have done justice, because you are now playing in South Africa.
Yeah.
I know we've got a story that we are supposed to talk about. I just need to understand what has been going on with you from the moment that you left, you went to South Africa. And again, not economic-wise, but yeah. I'm looking at you. You are like, captain of Dynamos.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we all want greener pastures. You go to South Africa.
Yeah.
But Durban City doesn't have the same stature as Dynamos. Because if you go to South Africa now, you're talking about Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, maybe Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah.
So you're coming, how was that switch for you?
Sometimes you have to put the ego aside, because if you want to progress in life, you have to weigh the options, because if you play in Zim, then you want to go for the next step. So I think I just made the decision, like, I have to progress in terms of my career. So it's not something that I had to debate by myself, because after all, when you play football, you have to progress.
But how is the love? Because my streets are Jalai. Now you're there. You're a new player.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody is interested to know who Jalai is.
Yeah.
But how has it been? Because Panika clip katika zona, baby. I'm wondering what is going on here.
Yeah, when I go to Durban City, even the club, the admins, they were surprised when they did the unveiling, because those page, they've the followership, so the numbers were increasing every day. He even asked me, like, why is it people from Zimbabwe love you so much? Like, I'm coming from a big team, and also, when you're doing the job in the right way, people appreciate it.
Nice. You're watching The Couch Out right here on ZTN Prime. We are focusing on the big match that's coming up this weekend on Sunday. Highlanders taking on Dynamos. In studio, I've got Emmanuel Jalai. He's our special guest today, as he has played in that game before. He understands from a Dynamos perspective, and probably to a certain extent from a Highlanders perspective, because he has played against the Highlanders. I've got Thaddeus and Veronica from the Couch Squad. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Catch exclusive interviews every weekday for candid, exciting and thought-provoking conversations with your host, Erika Ndoro.
We talk about arts, we can talk about sports, we can even talk about politics, and sometimes we venture into a nice guitaristic play.
the one story where you can't get out of your head. Karowa mwana mnema mbama mu studio. Wakatarisa munhu so Erica like where you are sitting. Ndozongokona bata face so pasina munhu.
Wakasiya music yako iyo afro chakuti ndo music manje no Zimbabwe.
And I'm sure they're still saying the same thing now.
Yeah, so
Shona kana kuti chindevere kana mumwe mutauri muno muZimbabwe ndiwe iwewe ndiwo rupawo rwako ndicho chidadiso chako.
Catch me, Erica Ndoro, right here on ZTN Prime every single Monday at 7 p.m. whilst we get exclusive.
You're watching The Couch right here on ZTN Prime, and today our focus is on the big game, Highlanders taking on Dynamos, and we are trying to, break it down and see who has got the upper hand going into that game. But on the log standings, Dynamos 6th and Highlanders are 8th. Only just a point. Separating these two teams. Things have not been going great for Highlanders lately, but looks like in the past 2 games they managed to do well. They got 2 wins on the bounce. Their last game against Bulawayo Chiefs, big Bulawayo derby, and they won that. It come back from behind a 2-1 win. And Dynamos, on the other end, they have been rolling in the goals. Their last game, 3-0 winners over Tel 1. So they meet at a very exciting moment. But the first game they played at the beginning of the season, it ended 2-0 at Rufaro Stadium. And now, what does Bulawayo have in store for these 2 giants? Well, Highlanders coach Benjani Maruwari spoke to us after their weekend game against Bulawayo Chiefs when they won by 2-1.
Win like this going into the next game, you always have hope, and considering that my boys, they give it all, even the last game that we did, even the previous one. It's unfortunate that the Tel 1 didn't manage to get the maximum points, but for the past 2 games, it was very important to pick up points. Going into this big one against Dynamos, we need the motivation, our own motivation, and we did exactly that today.
So that's Benjani Maruwari just commenting after their 2-1 win over Bulawayo Chiefs. So I really wanted us to get into this, but let me just bunch it together with Genesis Mangombe, because he also won by 3-0 at Rufaro Stadium against Tel 1, and he believes the win came at the right time as it gives them the much-needed confidence going into this game against Highlanders.
It's game altogether, but we have to apply ourselves positively. Playing in Baba Fields is not a new environment for us, but the opponents are very good. They are doing so well. They are playing very good football. So we also need to go back and see how best we can counter them, and also make sure that at the end of the day we win that game.
So Dynamos coach Genesis Mangombe. So I'll start with you, Emmanuel. Yeah. These are the 2 protagonists in terms of the brains behind the 2 teams. You're getting into this game. I saw you on watching a couple of games when your season ended. Yeah. And I know you've been following closely on what's happening in Zimbabwe football. Yeah. Benjani at the beginning of the season, so many doubters. Some didn't even want him. But this is where he has put the team now. Yeah. From your own perspective, how do you rate him?
When Highlanders started the season, if we are honest enough, he didn't get the resources to get the players that he wanted. But football, as a coach, you have to come up with a second option. I'm sure you saw the way they've been performing of late, considering him not getting the resources that he wanted. He's someone who's doing a job whereby, as a team, you have to appreciate the effort and the brains that they've put, and also credit to the players. Because, I've heard a lot of stories about monetary issues, and, it's not easy to come and work without being paid. But after all, when you step into the field, you just do your best so that you get the positive result at the end.
So that's what the teams need, positive results at the end of the day. But when you look at Highlanders, I don't think they were that bad. A couple of draws. I think that's probably what spoiled their run. Yes, they then lost, was it 2 games?
Yeah.
They lost 2 games. And it looks like now the team is coming up.
Yeah.
It's coming up. But looking at this game now, going forward, because 2 wins on the bounce, coming up against a Dynamo side, that's also bubbling with a lot of confidence because they've been rolling in the goals. Do you see him, Taddy, and what has happened before? Do you see him getting a result that will satisfy the multitudes of the Highlanders fans?
Already the Islanders, multitudes of fans, are beginning to appreciate Benjan, and this game is going to be decisive in terms of his season at Islanders. Because once you beat Dynamos, coming from my positive results, I posted in the past 2 games, and then you beat Dynamos, over Jamba, Dynamos need 2 points. And Oramba ka maintain kana kutodzora that 10-point gap between EA and the leaders, which is Scotland. Ku Islanders, I don't think uti vanongovenga chavanovenga kushaya ma results, and then kana angu kutanga kuona ma results. I think especially this game is going to be very, very decisive in terms of his season at Islanders, because vakutanga kuma appreciate, but then kana wakajiwa foot vanobva but vichijiwa nedhimbare because the Dynamos ndo team yasingade kuluza kwairi. They would rather lose to Renders or Blue Chiefs, not Dynamos. So once angodya Dynamos, last time akauya kunoko wakaso draw, but angari mazuva draw, and then mazuva wins.
So are you saying there's another win coming?
If it comes, that would be very good for Benjan's season at Islanders, because I'm going to zotatarik, but then pazvinhu zvinotariswa museason yeIslanders chimwe chacho chihombe chinotariswa even chikazi chidiki pane 3 points chete kudya Dynamos. So if he wins against Dynamos, I think anenge abata moyo vanhu vaIslanders sakanyanyisa.
Past 5 games.
Yeah.
1 draw, 3 wins, 1 loss. And the loss, one. So it was a draw against Manica, then a win against Hunters, then a loss to Tel 1, then 2 wins against Agama, and the last one against Blue Chiefs. When you look at that trend, does it point to a win?
For me, it doesn't point to a defeat.
Okay.
So it's either...
At least it's pointing somewhere.
Yeah, at least it's pointing somewhere a bit positive, okay. Either a win or a draw. Because obviously now they are bubbling with confidence. And I think with the momentum that they have gathered, both the coach and the players themselves, I think vane kamuka self-belief kavanga vasina even at the start of the season. So we are looking at 2 sides that are clashing, but 2 sides they said in confidence. So it becomes very difficult to predict, because on the other end, Dynamos, obviously, they are coming from a good page as well. They don't want to drop the points. Highlanders don't want to drop points. But then when we look at Benjani and Highlanders, just like Emmanuel said, that when the season started, he came a bit late. He never went shopping. The resources were not really there. So he had to make do with what he had. And so imagine a coach is coming in late. My clubs are totanga pre-season kudara. He's bringing a new philosophy altogether. Time yaochada kuzoda kutanga kudzidzana nema players here, because remember, he has not been active in Zimbabwe. So obviously this was perhaps the first time that he's meeting some of these players. He wants to study the players. He wants to understand what he has within his camp. And then he starts to dish out the philosophy yake yawe nayo. So obviously it was going to be a process. But I think this fixture that is coming at the weekend is going to be a defining moment for him. But then you should also be grateful as well, because when you look at the caliber of my fans Highlanders, they are not as fickle as my fans Dynamos. The Dynamos, they have an patience. If you lose a game today, they forget what last week wakatomba winner. Unotowana vakakumirira pagate vachitaura kuti mangomba asi kubuda pana antimaona, which is now different, a bit different with the Highlanders. They've got a bit of leeway yavanokupa, they've got a bit of understanding. Even if you ukapinda even my groups are my fans, you look at even my conversations around the issue of my coaches and stuff, most of the nyaya dzavo dzavanotaura dzine substance. They back whatever it is that they feel at that moment.
So
which is compared the Dynamos musiwoyo vakangofila kuti game ramatitambira riri kubowa, it becomes chaos. The Highlanders vane kakunzwisisa kavanoita.
How did it feel when you lost to Highlanders? Mines was saying, was it the same? I know a loss is a loss.
Yeah.
But losing to Highlanders and losing to Crumbled Bullets, for example.
I think losing to Highlanders, it takes about 2-3 games for you guys to clear it up. Because, you know, it's a big game, like I always said, because there are a number of people, like, they are following that game in terms of supporters. So they always, like Ted said, losing to Highlanders as a Dynamos player is a big crime. They would prefer to lose to other clubs. I think it's
but
the
not
same.
To Highlanders.
Not to Highlanders. I think it's the same way to Highlanders. They don't want to lose to Dynamos because, you know, it's about bragging rights of the country, not of the city, but the country. So imagine losing to someone whom you are fighting for the rights. It takes the whole season, especially now it's second leg. So you don't want to finish the season saying you lost to Highlanders or you lost to Dynamos. So as a player, you just have to do your best so that you end up on the winning side.
So last year was very difficult.
Yeah.
You captained Dynamos,
Yeah.
but it was a difficult season.
Yeah.
Because you look at all the games as they were coming,
Yeah.
you got, ish, are we going to survive?
Yeah.
Are we going to survive?
Yeah.
Now, the team has changed.
Yeah.
In your own view, what has changed really at Dynamos?
I think what happened last season was a wake-up call, like, for the whole club. Because, you know, sometimes when things are happening, you're just watching like, nah, it's going to pass. But last year, I think we got to a certain stage, like, whereby where we are now, it's not even safer. I think we won about 4 straight games, but we remained on the same position in the relegation. So I think the club, they realized that in as much as we are a big club, we have to be realistic, because after football, there are 3 results. So you just have to do your best so that you don't face the same situation that happened last season. So I think credit to the players and the coaches for the good start that they have this season.
You actually follow Dynamos South Africa?
Yeah, some games I watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying from what happened last year. So let's talk about the play personnel, because this is where probably it's going to be one outside of the brains on the bench. Yeah. Because when we started, you were talking about Mongameli Chuma, who has remained consistent from a Highlanders perspective. From when the season started, when they played against Dynamos in that 2-2 draw, up until now, is there any player that you can single out that, you know what, when it comes to this big game, so and so, I'm sure they are going to be a deciding factor in this game?
Okay, first game that they played at Rufaro, I think they were still negotiating with Andrew Mbema, who is now signed with Highlanders. That is one player who can decide a match even if you ask Jalai. And then when it comes to consistency, there's this CB who once played for Dynamos. That is Nomo Shinyerere. I think for me, at Highlanders this season is the most outstanding player, if not across the league. So I don't think kuti angache because an institutional memory for Dynamos and Arukutamba for Highlanders is a leading light even Ashtamba kumashure. So ndio munhu andinota that when it comes to consistency, he has been the most consistent player who Highlanders ever since Poka Sangana.
You played alongside Nomo.
Yeah.
You played against him as well.
Yeah.
What kind of a player is he?
Nomo is a leader. You know, he has been there in football for the longest time. He played at FC Platinum. He once played for Platinum in Wange. He played also in the CAF. So, you know, with all those experience, he's someone who can lead the team from any position, because he can play centre back, he can play left back as a midfield. But, you know, the thing is, like Ted said, he has been doing very well, to be honest. But as a defender, especially in our league, it's difficult to notice or to give credit to a defender. But he has done really, really well.
You have followed Islanders. You've done some amazing stories on Islanders. Do you agree? Or you think there is another player who is carrying Islanders at the moment?
I think when it comes to carrying Islanders, I would say partially I agree with Tedious, because when you look at Nomo, especially with where he's coming from, I think we can all agree that in as much as he was getting game time at Dynamos last season, but he wasn't really up there in his game. And I think what he has done at Highlanders now is showing us some of the things that we never really got to see during the time that he was with Dynamos. So I think for me, he has been quite that impressive. And he has shown Guti, it's not a fluke. One game is up there, the second game is just down there. So that consistency, I think for me, is something that we can look up to in this game. And then also, you look at Andrew Mbeba. Andrew, if he's not out with injury, whenever he's on that field, he's going to give you something that you are going to marvel after that game. So I think for me, he's one player who, when he's on that field of play, he can decide the game. I remember last season when they played against Scotland, I think it was the Chibuku Super Cup, what he did in the dying stages of that game. I think for me, it's always something, every time that I see him, I always, that memory that just comes back, and I expect to see what he's going to give us on that particular day. In as much as position yake is the same position that I also love to see Mvelo Kosa coming in to play, because he's one youngster who has also been on the rise of late with the coming in of Benjani. But you know, Kuti, whoever is in there on that particular day, they will do the dirty work, they will decide the game for you.
But sorry, I'm going to put you on the spot. So some time back, there was that comparison between Mvelo Kosa and Andrew Mbeba. And a section of fans were doubting Mbeba. And they were saying, no, Mvelo Kosa is now the man to take over that right-back position.
I think that issue, I also fell into that conversation. I also fell into those sentiments at some point. But then later on, I realized, I think the issue with Andrew is he has never lost form, but he's one player who is now that injury prone. So I think at that time, he came back, injury and he was quick to go back out again. So during his absence, that's when Mvelo Kosa came in. That's when we saw the original Prince Ndlovu, Wataimboziva Kudara. So I think that combination, especially in the first 2 games of the season, that's something the Chekutivan Makawanda really wanted to look forward to. And also considering that Andrew has been in this game for so long. Saka, there's a time Chekutivan Wanosongo feel like the young and exciting talent. Okay. But when you talk of the battle of Zimbabwe, you need someone with a lot of experience. You need someone who can bring confidence within that team. And when we look at that, besides Andrew Mbeba for that big game.
So every time you came up against Islanders,
yeah,
I know it's self-motivating, but obviously as a human being, you'd say, guys, there's Andrew Mbeba or there's Peter Mudua.
Yeah.
Is there a player, not necessarily but a player that you respected enough to give more attention to?
I think for the games that we played against Highlanders, I think I played against Prince Dube, but we played only one season.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll give special mention to Tawa Mbeba. You know, he's someone who always rises to the occasion. Like, when you need someone to lead you, he's someone who can give you that energy, that motivation. Also, not taking away Mvelo Koza. He's a good young talent, but he needs someone to guide him, like, to keep on doing the good thing. But also, you know, when you've got an experienced player and a youngster, it's difficult for you as a youngster to break through in as much as you are good. But what you have to do is you just have to keep on fighting and also be someone who is willing to learn from someone who is playing on your position. So I think Tower has been consistent wherever we played against Highlanders.
Let's talk about Dynamos. We are looking ahead to the big game. Highlanders taking on Dynamos this Sunday, and it's going to be absolutely something else because of what these two teams are bringing now. It's not like last season where they found themselves fighting relegation and all. This season, they are totally two different animals from what we saw last season. Let's look at Dynamos. Who has impressed you?
I think so far, for me, it has been Frank, because I think this is his third season with Dynamos. The second or third season? Second season. Last season, there was not really Frank to talk about. He would come onto the field of play, he gives you the runs and everything, but end product, Papa Sina. So I think...
Did he even score last season?
No, he didn't
there
score.
Was no end product.
Okay, there's this misnomer when Frank actually scored against Platinum Stars when we were at Baobab that day. But it was actually attributed to the goalkeeper. So it was given as an on goal to the against Platinum goalkeeper. So he didn't score.
So I think perhaps Kwandiri is actually an issue of how he came to Dynamos, because Frank was introduced to the Dynamos executive in 2024 during just after the Chibuku Super Cup final. They were busy celebrating on the field of play. Then someone comes and says, play next season. So for me, that kept playing at the back of my mind. So I think when he came in last season, I saw the energy that he had on that field of play, and I expected perhaps it's a matter of time until he hits the groove. But I ended up feeling good. Well, Mfesu has got all the energy. He attempts to run into the box, but it looks like finishing yake is not yet there. So when we came back this season, to be honest with you, I never really considered him that much. I felt good. But then with what he has done now, I've got a whole different perspective altogether. You know, maybe it's also a process for one to come from outside Zim and then they adjust to the Zimbabwean league. So maybe for him, the process took longer, considering also where Dynamos were sitting last season. Fighting relegation is not easy. So obviously, you are trying to figure yourself out as a player, and then that happens. And then there is also Abel Gwatizo. For me, he's always that consistent player. Just like Shashakaita Emmanuel during the time at Dynamos, he was never down there, he was never up there, but that performance, he was always consistent whenever he got onto that field of play. So I think for me, Abel Gwatizo is also one player who gives you consistent performances on any day. Plus, despite him not putting on the armband, but he has got kamaka leadership so you know when he's on that field of play, you will see him giving instructions even to my teammates ake ane kamaka leadership then tinatenda Yishe Magwaza, in as much as he's not really getting a lot of game time, but Magwaza kana arimo in the field of play. You organize the back line, you not want to stop those instructions to show Kuti. I think for me it also shows Kuti, even in terms of seniority. He has been there at the club. He knows sometimes what is expected when you step onto that field of play. So I think those are some of the outstanding players, the Guti, I look forward to in the build-up such games. Yes, we have got the young Anotida Yishe Gwatizo, but I don't think Guti, with the stature of this big fixture, it would be fair for them to throw him in that deep end. You want the senior guys to do the duty. Kana ava vachizoya kuzopedzisa maybe Dynamos yawina 3-0 and then you say come and finish off the game.
So I want to focus on Frank.
Yeah.
When he was introduced to you, was it the same? Before you saw what you could do.
Yeah, Frank, we started training with Frank in 2024, end of 2024, when Coach Mablan and Coach Joe were there. You know, when the season is about to finish, there will be no much focus on coming players. So when we began 2025, you could see that he's a player which can give you something. But you know how difficult it is to come in as a foreigner. You have to adapt to new things, language, the playing surface. So I think him personally, if you see him playing, and if you see him outside the field, he's different. Frank is a soft guy. So it's something that we have to discover later on. When you're communicating with Frank, if you communicate with him in a harsh way, he's someone who gets into the shell. So we have to discover it later.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know, imagine when it Dynamos, there is no time. So imagine the phase that we were in as a team.
You're fighting relegation. And this guy is being a soft.
Yeah. So it's something that the load was too much for him. So I think if you look at the way he started this season, I'm not surprised. Like Sis Vero said, like he's someone who gave the energy, the runs, and but the end product last year was not there. But Frank is someone who is a striker who forces a defender to make a mistake. He doesn't wait for a defender to make a mistake. If you see the goals that he scored this season, it's him being on the right spot at the right time with energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's hear from the soft guy. He is talking on the biggest fixture on the local calendar.
You know, this is a big battle that everyone is expecting.
Volume.
For it to happen. Yeah.
And, you know, when it's time for
Dynamos
and Highlanders to play, it's a war on the ground. Yeah. So I would like all the supporters to come in numbers and support Dynamos. Sure.
So yeah, that's him saying it's a war. And I introduced him as a soft guy. And the soft guy is ready for the war. Anyway, he says wearing the Dynamo's blue colors comes with a lot of pressure, as a number of fans will be expecting the best result on the day.
You know, if you are wearing this blue jersey, it means a lot. You have to fight a lot, you know, with all your heart, and give the fans what they expect. They always want to smile, so you have to work hard and give your all. We are on it, we are training very good. The coach is encouraging us, giving us some tips that we're gonna use in the game. We are training very well.
That's Frank Agiaman, top goal scorer at Dynamos right now. Is he going to be a factor for you?
A huge one. A big factor actually, was uniform arugwesa bora, and basically bora naomba nyanya kusiana kuti, of course panika kafunga ika kuti this one is bigger, but game and he are in form, so he might be a big factor. But I wanted to give special mention to a player that you guys overlook at Dynamos. Is also a soft guy. Akagoesa aende kuma fans. But Kapera is not one player, no join and fans. Just goes to the changing room. That is perfect Chikwende. That I think, to be honest, is the best player at Dynamos right now. But he can decide matches. All the penalties that Dynamos have won this season is the one who earned all those penalties. Most of the goals that Frank has scored, most of the goals that
Jairus
Kasondo has scored, he is the one who created all those goals. So he has also stayed in Bulawayo. Remember, he played for Bulawayo Chiefs. He knows Bulawayo very much. So I think he's one of the players anokwanisa kutodecide game rere asingatombotaura nezvake ongopinda zvake akapfeka number 22 yake playing as a 10 vanhu vachiita kuti toda kumaka Frank, toda kumaka Jairus Kasundo, then perfect vanonyatsoziva nezvaperfect, they will tell you kuti perfect ndo thorn in the flesh when it comes to playing against Dynamos. And also Mavunga this time aiwa chakanaka makore esa eliro Mavunga anopenga ngachipenga chimhanya nebhora chinobuda uko say, but I think Kaka has got a special way of getting the best out of Leroy Mavunga. Remember Leroy Mavunga pakatanga tambiri chap aikochana Kaka aikochana Genesis Mangombe ku yard paka haipwa paipa achinza akaipa Genesis pakabva pakaregedza kutanga kukocha Leroy angango Leroy anenge achingodinasarapo munganarapo. He was even offloaded at Scotland achinzi hakwanisa, but kumutora nasi Leroy Mavunga anokwana first 11 Scotland. So thumbs up to Kaka, I think, and Leroy wachona is also going to be a huge factor because are decisive this time. Aga dribble one anoziva kuti pasini skongwai achangomhanya nebhora. He can also score says zamakaona muswe sanda against T1. So I think Leroy Mavunga and perfect chikwende ndo vanhu kuti vangosatasura pasi, but I also decide again already.
Talk to us. What do you think? Who is going to have an impact on this game? Whether a Dynamos player or Highlanders player, we heard the panel here, Emmanuel, Tadi and Veronica talking about different players. Who do you think is going to be the player to decide this big game, Highlanders and Dynamos, this Sunday? Stay with us. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we hear from one player who has played for both teams.
They call me Racer X, or in this case, Racer J. All right.
Put your seatbelt on.
You're watching The Catch right here on ZTN Prime, and we are discussing the big game that's coming on Sunday. Highlanders taking on Dynamos here as we begin the second round of the 2026 Kasolaga Premier Soccer League season. In studio, I've got Emmanuel Jalai, Thaddeus, and Vero as we are trying to break this game down. Who do you think is going to have an impact in this game? Talk to us. We are all over social media at ZTN Prime. Just hashtag The Couch, and we discuss this game here. So 1996 Soccer Star of the Year, Stuart Murisa says the Battle of Zimbabwe remains the biggest fixture on the domestic calendar.
There can never be a bigger game than Dynamos versus Highlanders, bro. Just like Dynamos versus Caps. You know, these are the traditional giants of Zim football. You can't talk of Zim football without Dynamos, without Highlanders, without Caps United. And it's still, and it will be the biggest game for a very long time. You know, I know there are teams like Scotland coming up, Zimbabwe and them, Agama, Hard Rock, but you know, they're still not as big as these two teams.
So yeah, the two teams had an unforgettable 2025 season, and Murisa, he had to throw in a caps in there, and he says, look, he's delighted by how these traditional giants have been doing their business this season, and he believes the three teams who have a say on the championship title, no matter where they are. Caps might seem like the wheels are coming off. Highlanders might be a distant 8th, Dynamo 6th, but he believes they'll have a bigger say to the championship title.
Yeah, you know, we can say the big three teams, they're fallen behind title race. I mean, yeah, last season it was not a good season for the big three teams, Dynamo, Caps, and Highlanders. You know, but this season I've watched almost all the games, and this season I think they're in with a shout. It's a pity that sponsors are not coming in for these teams. You know, I think that's where they've been lacking behind, especially Islanders, Dynamos, and Caps. You know, if the corporate world gets involved, obviously, you know, it will improve the teams. It will improve also our league for the better.
So that's Stuart Murisa. He's coming in.
So you're wondering why he had to throw in Caps United. You're wondering. Okay, I will tell you.
No,
why.
I know. I know.
It's the only team that he won the league with. And
Yeah.
he played for Dynamos and Highlanders, and he never won anything.
And also he won the Soccer Star of the Year playing for Caps United. So I'll let you in on a secret that I had. Sorry, I'm just going to let it out of the bag.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Jalai in the way Caps. I had to say it.
Yeah, when we Caps actually grew up at Caps United as a Caps United junior. He went to school through Caps United pockets. He wanted to play for Caps United, but then you know, coaches, you know, no, it's fine. Let me.
It's okay. So yeah, it's a good thing hearing from a player of Stuart Murisa's caliber, because he has been in both changing rooms of these two giants. But where I want to take this conversation as we wrap up, it's the aspect of fans. What we have seen this season, fans are coming.
Yeah.
The game between Dynamos and Caps had well over 25,000 fans. It was confirmed by the PSL. And we have seen what happens in Bulawayo whenever Highlanders are playing. For you, Emmanuel,
Yeah.
getting into BF, how was the feeling? Was it intimidating? Because I will tell you, my first time to get into BF, it was in 2001, June. And that team was being coached by Rush. He was coaching Highlanders. No, it was Eddie May. Eddie May was coaching Highlanders. And they were playing against Caps. Caps was being coached by Rush. It was in June. And I got into Baba Fields. I was scared. I wasn't playing. But that was my first time. How was your introduction to BF?
My first Battle of Zimbabwe was 2019 when we played in Baba Fields. That time I was 20 years old. And it was my first time stepping into Baba Fields. You know, it's never easy to play in Baba Fields, playing against Highlanders. You know, those supporters, they will sing from the first minute until to the last minute of the game. I still remember last year when they scored first, the whole stadium was singing. I was like, are we going to get back after this support? You know, whenever you're playing Highlanders, they support their team during the tough, the good times. That's the difference with the Highlanders supporters.
With Dynamo's fans.
Other supporters. Yeah, you know, they stand with their players despite the result, despite the run they're into. If you look also the way they started this season, the supporters, they never let the team suffer alone. they are always there. So, you know, when you're playing in Baba Fields, you have to expect the hell, because, you know, it's not easy, because they support their team with all their energy and heart.
And it reminds me, remember the story of Umkichimi last year and the heartbreak that they suffered as fans when they lost to Dynamos at Rufaro.
Yeah.
They came to Harare, nika coffin, mini coffin, and they thought they were going to bury Dynamos. But after they got buried, and it became embarrassing for us to carry that coffin back to Bulawayo. So they decided, no, we are going to sit back at Rufaro. They broke down that coffin.
You think support is going to be affected? Because I know Dynamos has got a sizable number of fans in Malawi.
Not a sizable number. They've got significant support in all corners of this country, let alone in Bulawayo. So obviously supporters towards the bora. Actually, don't bora ringeripo. Pasna ma supporters apana bora. I think it is going to be a factor, especially in favor of Highlanders, because Dovacha dominate must sense.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to put you on the spot. I have to do this. Prediction. The game is coming on Sunday. The game is coming on Sunday. Tadi.
Yeah. Okay, in first.
Yeah.
Okay, you can write this down. Dynamos is going to win 2-1.
Dynamos is going to win?
Yes.
2-1. You want to go a step further and tell us who's going to score?
Maybe Shadrack Nyawa and Lire Mafunga.
Okay. You have to get in on the party.
And for Highlanders, it was Monga.
Okay. Because you have watched the teams.
Yeah. I think considering the statistic for both teams, Dynamos is a high-scoring team this season in the whole league. Also, in terms of clean sheets, I think Highlanders is one of the teams which have kept more clean sheets. But I would say 2-1 in favor of Dynamos, considering the way they are scoring goals, but also not being able to close the shop for themselves. So I would say I'll open it as a 2-1 in favor of Dynamos.
Doesn't it sound weird for you to say Dynamos is is the biggest scoring team, considering what was happening last season?
Year,
really?
I always say that when you look in terms of their scoring record, last year we struggled a lot in terms of scoring, but we were a better team in terms of keeping the clean sheet. So, you know, scoring is difficult. So I think they just have to push a bit more in terms of defending, because when you're scoring, I think they've scored 2 goals previous two games or so. So it's a big positive for them. So they just have to click a bit in terms of defending.
I'll give it 2-0 to Dynamos.
What?
I'm just hoping that they did their homework in terms of being able to defend set pieces. If they did that, it's going to be 2-0 for them.
What? Talk to us. What do you think?
And your prediction?
Yes, presenter.
It's going to be a draw. A 1-1 draw. Yeah. Balances. Talk to us. What do you think is going to happen in that game? Highlanders taking on Dynamos this weekend at Baba Field Stadium. Do you think it's a Dynamos victory? Do you think it's a Highlanders victory? Talk to us. We want to hear from you. Many thanks to Emmanuel Jalai, our special guest for today. Thank you so much, Emmanuel.
You're welcome.
Yeah, hopefully you get there, one of the top teams in South Africa.
Yeah,
I'm sure they are going to snatch you, and not saying that Durban City is bad, man. Yeah. And many thanks to the Couch Squad, Teddy and Veronica. Thank you guys. Always a sport when you guys are here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, presenter.
All right, enjoy the rest of your viewing right here on ZTN Prime. We talk again next week, same time, right here on ZTN Prime.
We are in Harare, yeah?
Yes, yes.
And this place is the Hustler Street.
Yes, yes.
So we just want to welcome you all to Zimbabwe.
Yes, I am.
Can we all say, welcome to Zimbabwe? My name is Watermaya, your one and only annoying village boy from Ghana, and I just want to tell you all, keep watching ZTN Prime on DSTV 294.
ndotonzwa kuti pane zviri kuitika pamwiri pangu ndoti pane zvandashotesa kumwa ende ndowanzoitora kumafofo.
Me, I was clubbing. There was a club Synergy in town. I was clubbing 2009 ndopandakaita mukadzi wangu. From there ndakatozongoramba ndakutomwa pia.
Ndotozwa kuti nenda ndatotora but andotsamwa achitokuita hapana because zvinhu zvandakatojaira.
The African continent has made notable strides in fighting the HIV pandemic, specifically its impact on women and children. However, when health service delivery is partial, key populations, which include drug users, are vulnerable to new infections due to lifestyle choices. Sadly, such lifestyle choices, which could include transactional sex, expose their patrons to HIV infection and reinfection. Essentially, health service response should work concurrently with